pleasure to be associated with this memorial. I think it's fitting that it should be in the Olympic Borough of Hackney, and it's a particular pleasure to do it in front of a distinguished Olympian. You know, it must have been a little bit like this before the Munich Games. So much hope, so much excitement, and so much feeling that things are going to be great. But 40 years on, the horror of what happened in Munich has not and can never be forgotten. The Munich Games should have been so different. It was, after all, dubbed the Happy Games. The first to be held in Germany after the Holocaust, to host an Israeli sporting delegation on German soil. Israel, that beacon of hope, of freedom, of democracy, the most turbulent part of the world. Yet it's not the images of records being broken that we think about Munich. It's no great sporting triumph. It's a gunman in a balaclava standing on a balcony at the very heart of the Olympic Village. And the shock of that tragedy we witnessed in those days, September 1972, was compounded by the realization that none of this was inevitable, and that beneath the veneer of our carefully cultivated civilization, beneath the high-flown Olympic ideals of the father of the modern movement, who once described it as a joy and good fellowship, pursuing its way through the ages, increasing friendly understanding among nations for the good of humanity, always more enthusiastic, more courageous and more pure. But beneath all that, there were people who were all too willing, all too able to murder and to terrorize, any time, in any place, and from any direction. Munich was not a war zone. These folks were not combatants. They were innocent competitors. They believed in the simple values of sporting fellowship that transcended all boundaries, but found themselves cut off from their loved ones. And with the games carrying on regardless, as one Israeli athlete who survived said, there were two parallel planets, and 200 meters away, behind police barriers, everybody behaved like nothing had happened. You know, there's a chilling, very chilling phrase in Steven Spielberg's film of Munich. There's a line that says that civilization finds it necessary to negotiate compromises with its own values. But let's be clear. A friend from the embassy rightly said that appalling attack on the Bulgarian bus full of innocent Israeli holidaymakers, men, women, children. You know, there's no victory in killing wrestlers and weightlifters. There's no victory in killing terrorists. People cannot be ambivalent. There's no suggestion, we can't be even-handed. In the face of overwhelming hostility, there is a simple dividing line that must never be crossed. There are times when we have to stand up. We're now in the Hebrew month of Av, start of 9 days that count down to one of the darkest periods of Jewish calendar, the destruction of the temple. A month where joy is traditionally diminished. It's also a month that carries another title, Menachem, a word signifying comfort and consolation. So today, as we stand by those 11 athletes who fell, as we lay the wreaths of honour in their memory, as we unveil the plaque, in memory of families who have suffered an unimaginable loss, members of our Olympic family, let me offer this consolation to all our communities. We will never forget. We will never compromise. We will never rest in our determinations to ensure that those who enrich our society, who make untold contributions to our lives, can walk without fear in freedom. God bless everyone.